Okay, next up is going to be Fractured, an apocalyptic lit RPG series, Red Mage book number 3, written by Xander Boyce. It is 352 pages. It is $5.99. It's available on Kindle Limited, and here's the author's description. Humanity to save. Aliens threat to annihilate. Aim your spells accordingly. Drew and his team are the entire counteroffensive plan against the Naga. He knows that the serpents must be dealt with, but watching the Sidhe forces take the nodes near his old home and turn them violent is weighing on him. Even worse than the external threat is the pressing fact that the gathered humans are beginning to fracture into factions with competing desires. The mana shield over the stadium was supposed to solve every one of their problems. The Naga disagreed, and their frequent skirmishes are ramping up into a constant drain on resources. Drew's only possible response to the humans, the aliens, and the strange urban jungle peering across the Potomac is to increase the count of his own red nodes and build up his strength, all in a race to save humanity. As tensions rise, Drew wonders more and more if he can solve everything with a well-placed fireball. There we go. I want to say that the novel description is a little redundant, but it does give you a gist of what's happening in the story. The story, for the most part, is very slice of life-ish, that you're following the main character in the RPG apocalypse around Washington, D.C., and you get to follow him on his adventures. Lots of fights. He is the main character, sort of stepping away from the base building aspect for a little bit, and going on some dungeon dives and dealing with some larger alien power structures and fighting them. But it really is, you're following him. He progresses in his powers. I was really genuinely surprised when I was reading this about, I forgot how goofy some of the jokes are in this series. I was pleasantly surprised, because it's been such a long time since I read book number 2. When I was reading the dialogue, I was like, oh yeah, this, I forgot that the author is a little bit of a punster, but also has just like some weird pop culture jokes in there. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's right, that's Xander. So it just came up on me. It's like, okay, good stuff though. But that's what the story is. It's goofy conversations, it's action, fighting, and adventure, and that's what it is. The plot progression, it's a little uneven in places, and the end in particular felt a little bit rushed for me, compared to what happens in the rest of the novel, but it was still an enjoyable, fun read. So I had a good time with it. Gets a score of 7.6 out of 10, which is above middle of the road good. And that's going to be Fracture, an apocalyptic lit RPG series, Red Mage book number 3, with a score of 7.6 out of 10.